Hey everybody, it's Maria Rini from the Welcome Home team at RE/MAX, and today I am delighted to have with us Laura Huisking of Generations Counseling and Care Management. So thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Laura, first question, I'm sure everybody's wondering, what is care management?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's one I get a lot. So basically, a care manager is someone you hire as your advocate. And they can come in and create a comprehensive assessment based on the diagnosis in the family, and then they create a care plan around that diagnosis. So I'll give you an example. Yeah. Let's say your father has just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. It's early on in the diagnosis, and you have absolutely no idea what to do. So we'll come in, we'll create a comprehensive assessment, and what's in that assessment is we look at everything. We look at the medical issues, we look at what kind of doctors he's seeing, we look at his social support, like does he have a lot of family, does he not have a lot of family, does he belong to a church that might be able to help along the way, and then we also look at your financial goals and your financial resources. Does the family want him to move in with another family member? Does he want to stay at home? Does he want to eventually move into memory care? And so we kind of really guide the family through that caregiving process, which you and I know is one of the most stressful things you can go through. It
sure is.
It really, really is. So having somebody who comes in sort of as a third party and looks at everything from neutral eyes can be invaluable. And then they can argue your case along the way and take a look at, okay, so it's Alzheimer's. What kind of Alzheimer's is it? What does the progression of the disease look like? Will you need to bring in hospice or something like that? So a care manager can also organize all of those kinds of resources for you. We're like the quarterbacks. We'll call the plays so that you don't have to, so you can just sit in the sidelines, hold your father's hand, and just be the daughter. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
and such. So you take the burden of all the research and the background,
yes.
And what are the moving parts?
Yes, yes. And what's beneficial is that these are social workers who are also experts in the healthcare laws, so they kind of know what to expect when you're admitted into a hospital. Like, what are the insurance benefits like? What do you need to do at the hospital to make sure Medicare kicks in and stuff like that.
Super. So the scope of services that Generations provides. Walk us through. It can be as simple as...
Yes. So I'm so glad you asked that question because we're super flexible. Because you and I know every family is different and they all have very unique needs. Like some of them have a ton of family around and a ton of support, and some families don't have anyone. So we really can do as much or as little as the family wants. There are families who come to us and say, we're all on the same page. We all love each other and we just want to do what's best for mom. And then in that case, they're like, we want to pitch in as much as possible. So we'll basically create the assessment and the care plan, and then we can give them the care plan and they can implement the care plan along the way. Sometimes they can call us if they need extra advice, or if the progression of the disease happens a little bit faster and they need more advice. And some families hire us for everything because they live out of state, right? So if you live in California and your parents are still here, we can be that person who meets the family member at the hospital at 2 or 3 in the morning after a crisis or after a fall. So while sometimes it's really wonderful to call in a care manager early, that's not how it happens a lot of the time. So we've really become leaders in crisis management, right? So you'll have a team of people behind you helping you through the crisis so that you don't have to make the decisions in crisis mode. We help you make those so that you don't have to be as stressed.
How does Laura Huisking find her way into this field?
Oh, God. So it's actually kind of a personal story. So my mom was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer about 13 years ago, and she passed away 10 years ago. And she was one of the most incredible individuals on the face of this planet. You know this because we've had very many conversations about how much I want to emulate my mother. But that caregiving process knocked us out. So it was me and my sister and my brother all taking care of my mother, researching the different doctors, trying to figure out, okay, are we seeing the right doctors? And no one really told us about the resources, and I guess maybe we were in the young side, we were all in our 20s. We just really didn't know what to do. So it would have been invaluable to have this care manager come in and say, okay, this is a difficult conversation, but this is the time we have to make the most out of your mom's life, so maybe we should bring in hospice. Like, they help you make all those tough decisions. So I got into healthcare because I'm extremely, extremely passionate about helping caregivers. Anything I can do to make their journey easier is what I want to do. So I'm very lucky to work for a company that really eases the burden on caregivers, because I really passionately believe that there aren't enough resources for them out there. Like, we should be giving every caregiver a grant as soon as they become a caregiver, and like give them a roadmap of what to do. And here are the resources that you can pay for. Here's some money to pay for some of those resources. That's what I believe anyway.
Super. So what do you want people to know about Generations, and what if there's somebody who's got a family in crisis or in some kind of horrible transitional phase, what do they do?
So, well, they can call me, first of all.
So,
but
Laura Huisking, and your number?
Generations Counseling and Care Management, 201-739-1593.
And we'll put that in the comments.
Yeah, but basically what sets Generations apart is the fact that we're a true geriatric care management firm. So you have a team of social workers, but we're available 24/7 to our clients. And that's very unique. And how invaluable is that? Because caregiving isn't on a timeline. Like, my family member is going to have a problem at 5 p.m., you know? So we get a lot of calls like in the middle of the night, and our care managers will go and see them. So I think that's the biggest thing to remember about Generations, is the fact that we're available 24/7 for our clients. That really lends us, like, we take more difficult cases and stuff like that because we're used to being on high alert. Super. Yeah.
So thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, this has been great.
So seriously, and Laura is, as you can probably see, very open and willing to help.
Yes.
Give her a call. You have any
for sure.
kind of question, bounce it off her. She'll be a wonderful resource for you.
Definitely. Please take advantage of me.
Okay. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.